she's Rick the critic, 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 Rick the critic. When she come into your place, yo, you best not forget it. She gon' tell you how it is, cause she's Rick the critic. When she all up in your city, yo, you best not forget it. Let you know if she like it, and if she get with it, let the whole world know and be the first to admit it. Let you know if it's good and if she dig it.
I'm Rick the Critic. Welcome. Listen, today we're going to be talking about home-based businesses. We're going to be talking a little to an entrepreneur that, despite of some challenges, she has started a home-based business at home. And we're going to talk to her. She's going to call on the phone, and we're going to talk to her briefly. We're going to have some interaction with her, and then we're going to talk a little bit more about home-based businesses and a little bit about where the money is. So now that you're here and I'm in your living room and you're in mine, we're going to wait for her to call. And while we're waiting, she's not called?
She's online.
Great, good. Okay, so this is perfect. It worked out just great. So she's on.
You can talk to her.
Bev?
Yeah.
Hi.
Hello, how are you?
Fine, and you? What is that back that okay, I can hear you now. Listen, I was just telling the listeners that about just a little bit about share with us today. We're talking about home-based businesses. We're talking about people overcoming challenges and still doing what they love to do and what they have a passion to do. Tell us a little bit about what you do and about your line. I didn't tell the listeners about your line, but tell us a little bit about the name of your company and what it is that you do.
Well, first of all, I want to praise God and thank God for today. And also I want to thank you for having me on your show. Can you hear me?
Yes, it's my pleasure.
Okay. Actually, the name of my company is called Anointed Linen and Bedding Collection. And what we do is we produce and distribute fine luxury linen. We do it for the bedroom, which is for the entire bed, everything that goes on the bed, your sheets and pillowcases and your comforters and all of that, as well as we do towels and floor mats for the bathroom, along with the accessories that will come at some point in time. And then we have a small line which consists of nice robes for men and women, along with the house tip. And so it's a full line in 3 different sections, 3 different parts of it, and that's what we do. We are Anointed Linen and Bedding Collection.
So now, listen, so now, Bev, the linen is, and you said a luxury line.
Yes.
Okay, so this is not something that we'll see in Target or
No.
or in
Mine is a little bit
Big Lots.
a little nicer. The thread counts in our sheets, which a lot of people are becoming more familiar with, are going to be your higher thread counts. And also the thread counts are in your comforters and your duvets and other products which is on the bed. And so this linen and these towels and different things for the bathroom and the bedroom are your higher end. You won't find our linen in, not to badmouth any other store or anything, but they will not be at Anna's Linen. They will not be at Kmart, places like that. This is a higher end luxury type linen. Very nice.
So tell us, what is it made out of? When you say luxury, I'm excited. I mean, when you say luxury.
Well, when you go into, say, Macy's and you pick up one of their, like Macy's has a brand in their store that, the fabrics are much nicer. Like I said, your thread counts are higher. You are using a better quality textile, a lot of cotton perhaps, the polyester. You possibly could be using an organic fabric, an organic texture or textile, which is a bamboo, which they're coming out with, and it's really a real beautiful texture. And it feels good on your body. And so it won't be that type of a towel, for instance, that's rough. If you notice sometimes if you wash a towel and it gets kind of hard or kind of rough on the body, that's not a luxury towel. That's just an inexpensive towel. Our towels are going to be fluffy and smooth on the body and feel very good. So that's the difference. It's what you put in it. It's the textures and the textiles that you use.
I have a question. So now, listen. So for my listeners, some of us are educated, and some of us are not educated in luxury towels. When you say thread count, I heard you say something about thread count. Explain that to us.
Okay, the thread count in a sheet, it's like it's a 2-inch square, or 2 inches on the sheet, all the way from top to bottom, side to side. And within that square, they have to do thread counts up to the amount that you say it is. If it's 200 thread count, 200 stitchings have to be within that 2-inch square. 200 little stitchings. If it's 300, you need 300, and you will not fill it. That's the thing that's so remarkable about it. Remarkable about that. You will not fill the thread count, but you'll fill it in the sense that the sheet will be smoother and feel better on the skin. The higher the thread count, the better you're going to feel. Thread counts can go as high as you want. They have some people doing thread counts on their linen that goes as high as 1,000 thread counts. You can start as low as 180. And the higher you go, the better you're going to feel in the bed. So that's what a thread count is. It's that many thread counts within a 2-inch square on that particular item.
Okay. Now, again, for those that may have just tuned in, this is Beverly Miller of Anointed Bed and Linens.
Anointed Linen and Bedding Collection.
Yes. Anointed Bed and Linen, right. So now, Beverly, now that we know the thread count, and now that we know that there could be organic fabric or organic textiles to make these towels and stuff, and then you said something about linen. Now, okay, we got the thread count sheet, but what would constitute a luxury linen? A bedding, like your sheets. What?
Again, it's all about the textile that you use, and they have inexpensive textile and they have expensive textile, and it all depends on what textile you're going to use and what it's going to do for you as the customer. If you don't care about how you feel in the bed, you can buy an inexpensive set of linen and it will work, but it may shrink on you. When you wash sometimes different linen, because a lot of people buy linen not based on being loyal to a name brand, but they buy it based on how it looks. If it looks pretty and they like it, they'll buy it. It doesn't matter who's making it. But a lot of times when you, if you're not careful when you buy linen, it could be the type of linen that's made inexpensively. And so when you wash it, it will shrink on you, or it will wrinkle, or in some cases it's going to tear on you. Have you ever had a piece of linen where you wash it and it has holes in it? You don't even know where the holes came from?
I've seen that.
Yeah, well, that's an inexpensive textile. So, again, it's what you're going to be using, and we're going to use the better textiles.
Well, I'm excited about this. Could you tell us a little bit, how did Anointed get birthed? How did you, because Anointed is a very spiritual name, and I'm listening to you about luxury, and I'm thinking, when we think of kingdom business and we think of doing things for the kingdom, we think of luxury. We think of these luxurious things and regal. So tell me, how did you get the name Anointed, and how did you get started, and when did you get started?
Okay, and you're absolutely right. Why shouldn't we have the finer things in life?
Yes.
We are, part of the kingdom, and I think that it's just a wonderful thing to have, and that's the nicer things. I love beauty, and I love spirituality, and so what happened was, in 1999, I already had a little case of arthritis, and it got worse. It really did. It progressively got worse. And so at that particular time, I began to pray about what I was going to do, because I wasn't able to get out and do interior design like I was doing. I was an interior designer at the time. And so I prayed and asked the Lord to bless me with something that I could do within that realm that wouldn't be so strenuous, where it wouldn't be where I'd have to get out and look for different things for people. In interior design, you have to look everywhere for things. I just wasn't able to do it. So the Lord put on my heart to pull together this linen company and called it Anointed. And I didn't want to do it at first. I wanted to do something, but I didn't think I wanted to do linen. And as he began to spoon feed me a little bit at a time of how it was going to be and how he wanted it, I began to take in and take on this project. And so it really kind of evolved right around 1999. I left it alone for a few years, and then I got on it. And I've been on it about 4 years now on a regular basis. I've had to do a lot of research, a lot. I mean, it's not easy just to start up a new business. And so I'm finally at the point where we're ready to launch Anointed. So that's where it came from 10 years ago. Again, I didn't get started on it until several years later. But we're finally there.
Wow, that's interesting. I mean, that is. And you said you had a case of arthritis.
I've got my body. It has arthritis, and it's at times pretty severe. But I'm able to still function. I'm able to still get around, and so God is good. I mean, sometimes when you go through, difficulty, it's an opportunity. It was an opportunity for me to do something else, and it's working. So for those that are out there that don't think that they can do it, they can. I mean, it's just a lot you could do. Even through illnesses, there's still plenty that can be done if you want it.
Yeah, there's always, with God's people, there's always an opportunity.
There's always an opportunity.
Always.
And that's the way I looked at it. It was, in a lot of ways, I was very disappointed and disgusted. I was too young to stop working. I didn't want to stop working. I wanted to continue doing something for the Lord. And this was a great opportunity for me. And I'm just so grateful to God because it's working. It really is.
So so now you're going to launch your line. What year? I mean, I know you said that you already started, but have you already launched the line, or are you about to launch the line, or?
We should be launching. We're looking at spring of next year. Means that we're going to be on the internet, and we also are going to be in several stores. We are not sure exactly which ones yet, but we have some things working out for us right now as we speak. But we will be launching in January for the spring collection, and then again fall. So we will start up in a few months.
So now, will we be able to access, if we wanted to purchase linen, will we have to go to the internet, or will we go to a department store, or?
We're going to start off on the internet, and we're working on our line being a few gift shops and different stores. We're not sure which ones yet. We're working on that as we speak, but we will be on the internet, and if there's anybody that's interested, you can give that, because our internet is being built. Not our internet, I'm sorry. Our website is being built as we speak. We don't have the address to it yet, but they can reach me at my email. On my email, they can email me, and I'll email them back where they could go.
Well, that's interesting. I'm excited about this line. Number one, I'm excited because when women launch a business, and generally when we talk about entrepreneurs, there are a lot of men and there are a lot of women entrepreneurs, but generally people still kind of focus on men being in the lead. And so whenever I hear of women, starting or launching their own businesses, it's always just so exciting to me because we just kind of, we get out there, we have all the other cares of children and household and then just a regular job, and we have all of these things that we have to contend with on a daily basis, and we have all these dreams and visions that just kind of get pushed to the side because we have all these immediate priorities that we must deal with. So it's just always just intriguing to me, and I'm always interested and exciting when I hear someone, especially an African-American woman, launching her own business, and such a business as this. With your background as interior designer, and you also, when we talked, you also said to me that you guys had not a group, but there's a team of you of African-American interior designers.
Right.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about that.
Yes, we do. I have a lot of friends and colleagues that are still doing interior design. And a few years back, actually several years back, a colleague of mine and myself, we put together an organization called SIAID, which is the Society of African American Interior Designers, which we're still in existence. We're just not real active with it, but we still, the organization still is in existence. If anybody's really interested in looking for an interior designer that's African American, they again can contact me, and you can give them my email address, and I'll be more than glad to give them that website.